I asked my boss to act as my girlfriend when I met my ex, she smirked. And what do I get? A kiss. Alex straightened their tie for the third time in front of the mirror. The gala hall would open in less than an hour, and already the hum of excitement in the air made their heart beat faster. Not from the gala itself. Alex had been to hundreds of corporate events, but because of the one person they never expected to see tonight. Jamie, their ex. The one who could make even the most confident person feel small with a single look or a casual comment. They had worked together years ago, shared long nights of coding, and for a while, a romance that Alex now considered a mix of fun and chaos. But that was all in the past. At least Alex thought it was. And yet somehow, Jamie always had a way of popping up in the most inconvenient moments. Tonight, at this prestigious tech gala hosted by one of the biggest corporations in the city, Alex had no escape. What if they try to make things awkward? Alex muttered to themselves, pacing back and forth in their small apartment. I can't just run away, that would look bad. There was a knock on the door. Alex froze. Who could it be? Maybe a neighbor, maybe the caterers. Alex, came a smooth, confident voice. Are you ready? Alex turned to see Dr. Serena Vaughn standing in the doorway. Their boss, the CEO of the company Alex worked for. And not just any CEO, Serena was brilliant, composed, and had a reputation for reading people like open books. Her presence alone made the room feel smaller, somehow filled with energy that demanded attention. I think so, Alex stammered. I mean, what if Jamie is there? Serena raised an eyebrow, a half-smile forming on her lips. Your ex. Alex nodded, feeling a wave of nervousness. Yes, Jamie, and I don't know, I want to look like I'm doing well, confident, not like pathetic. Serena stepped into the apartment, her heels clicking softly on the wooden floor. She moved with effortless grace, like she owned the space without even trying. And you think standing alone and hoping they don't notice you will solve that? She asked. Her tone was teasing, but there was an edge of curiosity. Alex shook their head. No, I was thinking maybe you could, I don't know, act like my girlfriend. There, they said it. The words hung in the air like an electric charge. Serena's eyebrows shot up. Then she let out a small, incredulous laugh. Act like your girlfriend, she repeated, almost amused. And what do I get out of this, Alex? A kiss? Alex's cheeks turned red. Well, I didn't mean. Serena held up a hand, cutting them off. No, calm down, I'm just interested. What's in it for me? Alex blinked. They hadn't thought about that. I guess, I don't know. You'd look amazing and it would help me. That's something, right? Serena smiled again, but this time it was different, calculating, teasing, and somehow approving all at once. All right, she said finally. We'll do it, but no awkward mistakes. You follow my lead. Alex swallowed hard, suddenly aware of how much this would test them. Not only would they need to appear confident in front of Jamie, but they also had to follow Serena's rules. And Serena didn't follow anyone's rules but her own. The ride to the gala was quiet, except for the soft hum of the car engine. Alex kept glancing at Serena, who was reviewing some notes on her tablet, completely calm and collected. How could someone be so calm before a room full of the city's most powerful tech minds? You're nervous, Serena said suddenly, looking up. I can tell, Alex blinked. Well, yeah, I mean it's Jamie and I don't want to make a fool of myself. Serena leaned back in her seat, smirking slightly. Good, that's normal. But remember, confidence is not about pretending you're not nervous. It's about showing you can handle it anyway. Alex nodded, trying to take in the advice. It sounded simple, but when their heart was racing and their mind was filled with every embarrassing memory of their past with Jamie, it was easier said than done. When they arrived at the gala, the lights were dazzling. The main hall was filled with people in elegant attire, soft music playing in the background, and holographic displays of the latest tech innovations floating above the tables. Alex felt a familiar pang of anxiety. This wasn't just a social event. It was a place where reputations were made, deals were struck, and the slightest mistake could be remembered forever. Serena, however, walked in like she owned the place. Heads turned, whispers followed, and Alex felt a mixture of awe and nervousness. How could one person command so much attention without even trying? "Follow me," Serena said softly. "Stay close. Smile when I smile. Let me handle the rest." Alex nodded, grateful and slightly terrified. And then they saw Jamie. Alex froze for a moment. Jamie was standing near the center of the room, laughing lightly with a group of colleagues. Their presence alone radiated confidence, charm, and just a hint of mischief, exactly the combination that had once driven Alex crazy. Alex could feel the familiar tension rising in their chest. Serena noticed immediately. "Don't look so frozen," she whispered. "Just breathe. Remember, we're a team." Alex nodded again, taking a deep breath. Serena reached for their hand lightly, almost casually, and guided them toward Jamie. The closer they got, the more Alex realized how powerful presence could be. Serena didn't just walk, she glided. Every movement was calculated to draw attention and command respect. Jamie finally noticed them. Their eyes met Alex's, and a slow, curious smile spread across their face. "Well, well, look who it is," Jamie said, voice smooth and teasing. "Alex. And oh, is that?" Serena leaned in, her smile perfect, warm, and effortless. "Hi," she said, extending a hand with an air of playful confidence. "I'm Serena. Alex has told me so much about you." Jamie raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. "Really? I didn't know Alex had a girlfriend now." Alex felt their stomach twist with nerves. Serena, however, didn't flinch. She smiled wider, placing a gentle hand on Alex's arm. "We've been seeing each other for a little while," she said, her tone casual but confident. "Alex didn't want to make a big deal, but I thought I'd introduce myself." The room seemed to shift around them. Jamie's smile faltered slightly, replaced with a mixture of curiosity and a touch of envy. They weren't expecting this level of confidence and grace. Alex, for the first time, felt a spark of pride, not in themselves, but in Serena. The rest of the evening began to flow in a strange, exhilarating way. Serena guided Alex through conversations, introductions, and even subtle jokes at Jamie's expense, without ever being cruel. Every move was clever, strategic, and yet completely human. Alex started to relax, realizing that this wasn't about lying or pretending. It was about showing the best of themselves, and more importantly, relying on human ingenuity, charm, and intelligence to navigate a difficult situation. By the time the first hour passed, Jamie was intrigued, slightly off balance, and clearly paying attention to the pair. Alex couldn't help but marvel at how Serena handled everything, without force, without drama, and without any hint of aggression. And then, as they stepped aside to take a breath, Serena looked at Alex and whispered, "See, told you. Humans can do amazing things when we put our minds to it." Alex laughed softly, feeling a mix of relief and admiration. "Yeah, I guess I forgot how much you can teach someone." Serena smirked, her eyes sparkling. "And don't forget, we still have the rest of the night. Jamie isn't going to know what hit them." Alex grinned, realizing that despite the nerves, the anxiety, and the memories, this night was turning into something unexpectedly brilliant. It wasn't about winning over an ex. It was about humans, human brains, human charm, human strategy, showing what they were capable of when they worked together. And that, Alex thought, was worth far more than any simple victory. The gala had just begun. The gala was in full swing, and the room buzzed with conversations, laughter, and the soft hum of holographic displays projecting the latest tech innovations. Alex felt a mixture of awe and nerves as they followed Serena's lead. Every time they glanced at their ex, Jamie, Alex's stomach twisted in knots. But surprisingly, they were not as paralyzed as before. With Serena beside them, they felt like they could navigate the room, step by careful step. "Remember," Serena whispered, brushing her hand lightly against Alex's as they moved, Confidence is about making people notice your presence without demanding it. We do this subtly. Alex nodded, trying to match Serena's calm composure. They followed her lead as she engaged small groups in conversation, effortlessly weaving humor, knowledge, and charm into each interaction. People were drawn to her, and Alex quickly realized that being at her side made them seem more confident, more interesting, and more capable than they felt on their own. Jamie, across the room, was watching. Alex noticed the subtle shift in their posture, the slight narrowing of the eyes, the way they seemed to scrutinize every move. It was unnerving, but Alex took comfort in knowing Serena had a plan. "Alex, come," Serena said softly, tugging them gently toward a group discussing a new AI interface. "Let's join them. Remember, subtle interest, not dominance." Alex took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Hi," they said, forcing a small, confident smile. "Serena and I were just talking about this project. Incredible, isn't it?" The group looked up, and their interest was immediate. People gravitate toward confidence, Alex realized, even if it's borrowed from someone else. Serena's hand lightly rested on Alex's arm, a small gesture that seemed to communicate support to the room without saying a word. Jamie was closer now, approaching the group with a calm smile, but Alex noticed something different. There was a flicker of doubt in Jamie's eyes, a tiny crack in the armor of confidence they usually wore like second skin. Alex's heart skipped a beat. Was it pride, relief, or just surprise at seeing Serena's command over the room? "Alex, Serena," Jamie said, finally reaching them. "I didn't expect to see you two here together. Interesting choice." Alex swallowed hard. "Hi, Jamie. Yeah, unexpected, right?" Serena smiled smoothly, tilting her head slightly. "We like surprises," she said. Her tone was light, teasing, yet confident. There was no tension, no hint of aggression, but her words carried weight. Alex realized then that this was part of her power, a calm, human authority that required no force, only presence. Jamie's eyes flicked to Alex, then back to Serena as if trying to gauge the dynamics. "So, you're the new partner?" Jamie asked. There was a teasing edge in their voice, and Alex felt their stomach knot again. "Yes," Serena replied, placing a delicate hand on Alex's shoulder. "Alex has been a brilliant partner at work, and well, I wanted to meet you in person." Her smile was warm, open, but carried the faintest edge of challenge. Alex could feel the subtle tension in Jamie's body as the words sank in. Alex realized something surprising. They weren't the only one being observed. Jamie, despite their usual confidence, was being tested, and Serena was the one designing the test. The conversation flowed, and Alex found themselves gradually relaxing. Serena guided each interaction, dropping small compliments here, teasing observations there, making the group, and more importantly, Jamie, pay attention without realizing it. Alex even managed to insert a few remarks of their own, drawing nods of approval and small smiles from the group. It was intoxicating, the feeling of being capable, of being sharp, of holding your own in a situation that would have once paralyzed them with anxiety. Jamie's presence was a constant, quiet challenge. Every word, every glance seemed designed to test Alex, but Alex realized they were not alone in the test. Serena's calm, strategic presence was like a shield and a guide, allowing Alex to navigate the conversation with newfound skill. At one point, Jamie leaned in slightly, lowering their voice just enough for Alex to hear. "You've changed," Jamie said, half a statement, half a challenge. "I didn't expect you to handle situations like this so well." Alex felt their pulse quicken. They wanted to say something clever to assert themselves, but they hesitated. Then Serena whispered in their ear, just barely audible, "Speak from your mind, not your nerves. You're capable." Taking a deep breath, Alex replied, "I've learned that some things are about presence, not power. Some things are about understanding people, not controlling them." Jamie blinked, caught off guard. "That is surprisingly true," they admitted, though Alex could see the gears turning in their head trying to process the shift in dynamics. Serena smiled, giving Alex a slight nod. A tiny victory, but enough to make Alex's chest swell with pride. They were participating, contributing, and holding their own. The evening continued, and Alex noticed another subtle change. Jamie's usual confidence was tempered now by curiosity and a hint of respect. Alex was not sure if they could detect admiration, but it felt close enough to inspire hope. Serena, meanwhile, continued to weave her influence through the room. People gravitated toward her, listening intently, asking questions, and laughing at her subtle humor. Alex realized that her power was not about dominance. It was about human connection, about reading the room, about subtlety and timing. It was unlike anything Alex had experienced. Machines could analyze data, run simulations, and predict outcomes. But humans, real humans, had intuition, empathy, and creativity. And tonight, Alex was seeing it in action. Jamie's eyes met Alex's again across the room. There was a flicker of something, interest, doubt, maybe even a small twinge of regret. Alex felt a surge of confidence. This was not just about the past. This was about the present and the skills humans could use when they worked together. As the night went on, Serena suggested they step aside for a brief break. They found a quiet balcony overlooking the city skyline, the lights shimmering like stars. Alex let out a breath they didn't know they'd been holding. "You did well," Serena said softly, her hand brushing lightly against Alex's. "Better than I expected." Alex smiled, feeling a mix of relief and pride. "I couldn't have done it without you." Serena tilted her head, her eyes gleaming. "No, Alex, you did it because you could. I just reminded you. Humans have a unique advantage. You think, improvise, adapt. Machines can't replicate that. And tonight, you proved it." Alex felt warmth in their chest. It wasn't just about handling Jamie. It was about discovering a new part of themselves, a part that was capable, clever, and resilient. "But Jamie," Alex said hesitantly, glancing toward the balcony railing where their ex had paused to speak with a colleague. "Are they noticing us?" Serena chuckled softly. "Oh, they are, but that's not important. What's important is that you're noticing yourself. That's what matters. Confidence isn't about making them notice. It's about standing tall for yourself." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of her words. For the first time in years, they realized that they were not defined by past relationships, by mistakes, or by fear. They were defined by their choices, their ingenuity, and their ability to act in the moment. Suddenly, a voice called from the balcony door. "Alex, Serena, come join the main event." They turned to see a group of people gesturing toward a stage where the gala's main presentation was about to begin. Alex felt a pang of nerves again, but this time it was accompanied by anticipation. They were ready. Serena leaned in close, her voice a quiet murmur only Alex could hear. "Ready to shine?" Alex smiled, feeling a rush of confidence. "Yes, let's do this." Together they walked back into the main hall, heads held high, smiles confident. Alex realized something profound as they stepped into the crowd. Humans had power, but it wasn't brute strength or technical skill alone. It was intelligence, intuition, creativity, and courage. And tonight, Alex felt all of that flowing through them. Jamie was watching, that flicker of doubt and curiosity still present. But Alex didn't focus on that. They focused on themselves, on Serena, and on the brilliant, human advantage that no machine, no rival, and no past could ever take away. The night was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, Alex felt a spark of excitement. Not fear, not anxiety, but real excitement. They were ready to face whatever came next. And whatever it was, Alex knew they would do it with strategy, wit, and the uniquely human brilliance that had brought them this far. The gala hall was bathed in soft, golden light. Holographic displays floated above the tables, shimmering with the latest inventions and ideas. Music played softly in the background, blending seamlessly with the low hum of conversations. Alex felt their pulse steady now, more controlled than earlier as they moved beside Serena. Together, they were no longer just navigating the evening, they were influencing it. But just as Alex began to feel the thrill of confidence, Serena nudged them gently and whispered, "Pay attention. Things are about to get interesting." Alex glanced at her, curiosity mixing with a twinge of anxiety. "Interesting how?" Serena smirked subtly. "You'll see." Across the hall, Jamie was talking to a small group, their posture confident, their words sharp. But Alex noticed something they hadn't before, a faint flicker of tension in Jamie's expression. They laughed occasionally, but their eyes kept darting toward Alex and Serena, calculating, analyzing. It was then that the midpoint twist began to unfold, not through drama, but through Serena's brilliance. She subtly maneuvered Alex toward a corner of the hall where a live demonstration of a new AI interface was about to begin. The demonstration was important. It was a chance to showcase innovation in front of the city's top tech minds. And Serena had a plan. "Alex," Serena said quietly, "watch how humans can outsmart expectation. Not machines, humans. Pay attention." Alex nodded, intrigued. Serena leaned close and whispered instructions. "When the presenter asks for volunteers, you step forward. Act natural, curious, and clever. Show observation, not force. You'll see how people respond." The presenter, a young engineer from a rival company, began the demonstration. The AI interface was impressive but not perfect. There was a subtle flaw in the system, a tiny error that could cause the demonstration to fail, but only if someone noticed it and addressed it correctly. Alex's heart skipped a beat. This was a delicate moment. One wrong move and it could backfire spectacularly. But Serena's confidence was infectious. They took a deep breath and stepped forward as instructed. "Excuse me," Alex said politely, raising a hand. "I noticed something in the system's calibration. May I suggest a small adjustment before we proceed?" The presenter blinked, slightly surprised, and then nodded. "Oh, yes, of course. Please." Alex followed the instructions Serena had whispered. They made a minor adjustment, not flashy, not dramatic, but precise. The AI interface responded perfectly, glowing with seamless accuracy. The audience murmured in approval, impressed by the subtle correction. Jamie's eyes widened. They had not expected Alex to intervene, and certainly not in such a calm, effective manner. Their previous calculations about Alex's abilities had clearly underestimated the human capacity for observation and quick thinking. Serena leaned in, whispering just loud enough for Alex to hear. "See, humans notice what machines can't. Intuition, creativity, timing. That's our advantage." Alex smiled softly, feeling a surge of pride. It wasn't about outshining Jamie, it was about showing the unique brilliance of human skill. After the demonstration, the crowd applauded. The presenter gave Alex a grateful nod, acknowledging the correction, while Jamie's expression shifted from surprise to curiosity, a flicker of respect shining through. As the applause died down, Serena guided Alex back toward the main area, past the groups of admirers. She stopped near a table where Jamie had been lingering. Serena's eyes gleamed with a subtle, playful challenge. "Alex," she whispered, "now comes the real test." Alex's pulse quickened. "Test? Not a test of skill," Serena said softly, "but of perception. Watch closely. Humans can read people in ways no machine can. Notice what Jamie does next." Jamie approached, smiling faintly. "Alex, you seem different tonight, more confident. I didn't expect this." Alex felt their stomach tighten, but they remembered Serena's words. Confidence wasn't about faking it, it was about presence. They squared their shoulders and met Jamie's gaze. "Thank you," Alex said simply. "I've learned a lot since we last worked together, about observation, timing, about people." Jamie blinked, momentarily caught off guard. "People, huh? Interesting. I suppose that's something machines can't replace." Alex felt a surge of triumph. That was exactly the point. Machines could calculate data, predict outcomes, and analyze behavior, but they could not feel intuition, adapt spontaneously, or improvise based on subtle social cues. Humans could. That was their edge. Serena, standing beside Alex, added with a calm smile, exactly. Humans notice what matters and act in ways no program could anticipate. Jamie's gaze lingered on Serena, then back at Alex, and Alex noticed something new, a faint twinge of admiration. Not arrogance, not challenge, but genuine recognition. For the first time, Jamie seemed to understand that Alex, and by extension, humans, had capabilities that went beyond past mistakes, past relationships, and past assumptions. The tension in the room shifted subtly. Jamie's usual confidence was tempered by respect, by curiosity, and perhaps by the realization that they were not the only ones capable of brilliance. Alex felt a quiet thrill. This was exactly the moment Serena had promised. As the evening progressed, the interactions became more intricate. Serena guided Alex through conversations, introductions, and subtle social maneuvers. Each interaction was a careful dance, a demonstration of human ingenuity, wit, and charm. Jamie was present in nearly every conversation, observing, reacting, recalculating. Alex found themselves smiling more naturally, speaking more confidently, and noticing the small but critical details of human interaction: tone, body language, timing. Every gesture, every word carried meaning, and every meaning could be interpreted, anticipated, and responded to. At one point, Jamie leaned closer to Alex, lowering their voice just enough to be private. "You've changed," Jamie said. "You're sharper, smarter." "I didn't realize it before." Alex felt their heart race but remembered Serena's guidance, respond with calm, clarity, and presence. "We all change," Alex replied softly, "but some of us learn to notice what really matters." Jamie paused, a flicker of thought passing over their face. "I see that now." Serena, standing beside Alex, whispered a quiet reminder: "Observe, adapt, and use what you notice. That's human advantage." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of empowerment. This wasn't about outshining Jamie in some petty contest. It was about recognizing the value of human intuition, creativity, and adaptability. It was about proving to themselves, and perhaps to Jamie, that humans could navigate complex situations with subtlety and intelligence that no machine could replicate. Then came the pivotal moment. The gala organizers announced a surprise networking challenge. Pairs would be given a hypothetical tech problem to solve on the spot. It was designed to test quick thinking, teamwork, and creativity. Serena leaned in, whispering, "Alex, this is it. Time to shine together. Watch carefully. Humans succeed where logic alone fails." The challenge began. Alex and Serena were paired with a small team, while Jamie was assigned to a nearby group. The problem involved integrating multiple technologies into a seamless, user-friendly system. The AI tools could analyze data and suggest options, but they couldn't predict the human factors, the subtle preferences, expectations, and responses of real users. Alex quickly noticed a flaw in the proposed integration. Without hesitation, they suggested a minor adjustment, something simple but crucial. The team implemented it and the system responded perfectly. Serena smiled, nodding approvingly. Jamie's group struggled slightly, relying on AI-generated solutions without noticing subtle inefficiencies. Alex noticed the change in Jamie's expression, a mix of frustration and surprise. They hadn't expected Alex to handle the challenge so effectively. After the exercise, the organizers praised Alex and Serena's team for their ingenuity and human insight. Alex felt a surge of pride, not just for winning, but for demonstrating that humans, working together, had strengths machines could not match. Jamie approached afterward, their usual playful smirk softened. "I underestimated you," Jamie admitted quietly. "I didn't realize you or your team could handle that so well." Alex smiled, feeling a quiet satisfaction. It's not about machines or data, they said. It's about humans noticing what matters, thinking on their feet, and adapting. That's something AI can't replace. Jamie's eyes flickered, a mixture of respect and newfound curiosity. I see that now, they said softly. Serena leaned close to Alex, whispering with a small, approving smile, "See, humans notice, adapt, and shine. That's our edge." Alex realized the truth in her words. The night had revealed not just the cleverness of strategy or the excitement of social maneuvering, but the deeper lesson. Humans had unique abilities that no machine or rival could replicate. Observation, intuition, adaptability, and creativity were all uniquely human strengths, and tonight Alex had used them fully. As the gala drew to a close, the city skyline glittered beyond the windows. Lights shimmered like stars, reflecting the energy and brilliance of the evening. Alex felt a new confidence building inside them, a sense of empowerment that went beyond nerves, past insecurities, and even beyond Jamie's lingering scrutiny. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Alex knew one thing: humans had ingenuity, intuition, and creativity. And when they combined those qualities with strategy, calm, and collaboration, especially with someone like Serena, they could overcome any obstacle, impress anyone, and navigate even the most complex situations with grace. The midpoint twist of the night was clear. Jamie, confident as ever, had underestimated human skill, observation, and adaptability. And Alex, guided by Serena, had proven that humans could outmaneuver expectation without force, without aggression, and without drama. The evening wasn't just a social victory, it was a revelation. Humans had a unique advantage. And tonight, Alex had witnessed it firsthand. The gala had reached its peak. Music still floated through the hall, soft and elegant, but the air had changed. Conversations were quieter now, tinged with curiosity and admiration. People whispered about the subtle brilliance they had witnessed, particularly the small but sharp moves Alex had made alongside Serena. Alex felt their heartbeats slow slightly, a mix of relief and pride washing over them. They had navigated the tricky moments, had noticed what mattered, and had acted with precision. The applause, the nods, and the smiles they received from strangers felt real, validation not for a machine's calculated success, but for human intelligence and intuition in action. Serena, standing beside them, was as composed as ever. But Alex noticed a faint glimmer of satisfaction in her eyes. She had orchestrated much of the evening with her usual calm, subtle genius, but tonight was also about seeing Alex shine. "Alex," Serena said quietly, "observe what happens next." This is the ripple effect of human ingenuity. Alex tilted their head, curious. "The ripple effect," Serena smirked faintly. "Yes, watch how people respond when humans act with awareness, skill, and presence. It's subtle but powerful." Across the room, Jamie had gathered with their group, visibly processing the events of the last hour. Their usual confident demeanor had been tempered by something new: doubt. They were used to reading situations, controlling outcomes, and anticipating moves. But tonight, Alex and Serena had disrupted those calculations with subtlety, intelligence, and human intuition. Alex noticed Jamie's gaze shift repeatedly, first toward them, then toward Serena. There was curiosity, yes, but also a touch of frustration. It was the kind of frustration born not from defeat, but from realizing that control had slipped, even slightly, from their grasp. Serena leaned closer to Alex and whispered, "Jamie is thinking. Pay attention to how people recalibrate when they face unexpected skill and insight." "That's the beauty of human advantage." Alex nodded. They watched carefully, noticing how Jamie subtly adjusted their posture, how their tone of voice softened when speaking to others, and how they began listening more attentively rather than dominating conversations. It was a fascinating study, human adaptability in real time. Soon, the gala organizers began announcing winners of the night's challenges. Alex and Serena's team had performed exceptionally in the surprise networking exercise. When their name was called, the crowd's applause was genuine, appreciative of not just the solution they had presented, but the clever, human-centered approach they had taken. Jamie's eyes flicked toward Alex, a faint smile tugging at their lips. There was recognition in that look, not mockery, not challenge, but acknowledgement. They had underestimated Alex, and now they had to reckon with the skill, observation, and adaptability that Alex had displayed. "Impressive," Jamie said quietly when they passed by. "I didn't think you had that kind of presence." Alex felt a mixture of pride and calm confidence. "It's not about presence," they replied softly. "It's about noticing what matters, acting at the right moment, and trusting human intuition." Jamie blinked, clearly surprised at the clarity and poise of the response. For a moment, it seemed like they were seeing Alex as a true equal, not just in skill, but in thought and observation. Serena, noticing the interaction, gave Alex a small, approving nod. "Exactly. Humans have a subtle power. Observation, adaptation, empathy, these are our strengths. Machines can't replicate them." The evening continued, and the subtle fallout from Alex and Serena's actions became more apparent. People who had once ignored Alex now approached with curiosity, asking questions, seeking opinions, and inviting them into conversations. Their voice, once hesitant and cautious, now carried weight because it had been exercised with precision and intelligence. Jamie, meanwhile, found themselves observing rather than controlling. They attempted a few comments, a few interventions, but Alex noticed how often Jamie paused, reconsidered, and adjusted their approach. It was human recalibration in action, sometimes uncomfortable but fascinating to watch. Alex realized something important. Tonight wasn't just about impressing others or even outshining an ex. It was about demonstrating that humans, with creativity and observation, could influence situations, inspire respect, and navigate complexity without force, manipulation, or aggression. Serena guided Alex toward a quieter corner where they could catch their breath. "How are you feeling?" she asked, her tone calm but curious. Alex smiled, feeling a quiet surge of confidence. "Surprisingly good. I didn't realize I could handle all of that without freezing, and I think Jamie is starting to notice something about me." Serena's eyes gleamed faintly. "Yes, not just about you but about humans in general. They underestimated human perception and adaptability. That's the ripple effect. One small display of insight can shift how others perceive the world." Alex nodded, absorbing the lesson. They had experienced it firsthand, how observation, timing, and subtle intelligence could change outcomes, influence opinions, and command respect. Just then, a server passed by with a tray of drinks. Alex took one, feeling the cool glass in their hand. Across the room, Jamie's eyes met theirs again. There was a new respect in that glance, a recognition that Alex had grown, adapted, and demonstrated capabilities that could not be ignored. Alex turned slightly to Serena. "Do you think Jamie will ever underestimate humans like this again?" Serena smiled, a faint smirk playing on her lips. "They might try, but every time humans show creativity and intuition, expectations change. That's our advantage." The rest of the gala unfolded with subtle shifts. Conversations flowed more easily for Alex, interactions with colleagues became smoother, and even rivals approached with curiosity rather than challenge. Each moment reinforced a central truth. Humans had power not through force but through thought, observation, and ingenuity. Jamie approached once more, this time alone. They offered a small, respectful nod. "You handled yourself well tonight," Jamie said. "I didn't expect that." "You've impressed me." Alex felt a warmth in their chest. "Thank you. I've learned that humans can notice what machines can't. It's all about observation, timing, and adapting. That's how we handle complexity." Jamie smiled faintly, a mix of respect and realization. "I see that now. Maybe I underestimated not just you but all of us. Alex glanced at Serena, who gave a subtle nod. Their quiet guidance had allowed Alex to shine on their own terms. It was a lesson in human brilliance, subtly demonstrated, yet powerful in its effect. As the gala drew to a close, the city lights glittered beyond the hall's tall windows. Alex and Serena stepped outside for a moment of calm, letting the cool night air wash over them. "You did exceptionally tonight," Serena said, her tone soft but filled with approval. "Not because I guided you, but because you trusted your observation, your timing, and your instinct. Humans succeed where others fail to notice the nuances." Alex smiled, feeling a mixture of relief, pride, and exhilaration. "I couldn't have done it without you," they admitted. "You taught me to see, to act, and to trust myself." Serena smirked faintly, a playful glint in her eyes. "And don't forget, humans have a certain charm that no machine can replicate. That's what makes us unpredictable and unbeatable." Alex laughed softly, feeling lighter than they had in years. The lessons of the night, the observations, the subtle maneuvers, the human insight were clear. Humans had power beyond brute force or algorithms. They had creativity, intuition, empathy, and adaptability. And tonight, Alex had seen it in action. Even Jamie, usually composed and calculating, had been subtly influenced, their perception shifted by human brilliance. That ripple effect would linger, altering not just tonight's interactions, but perhaps future ones as well. As they walked away from the gala, Alex felt a sense of quiet accomplishment. They had faced their fears, handled a challenging ex, demonstrated human ingenuity, and learned lessons about observation, timing, and confidence that would stay with them forever. Serena glanced at them, her smile soft but approving. "Humans have a way of surprising others, and tonight you did exactly that." Alex nodded, the glow of pride and excitement warming them. "I finally understand it's not about being the strongest or the loudest. It's about noticing, adapting, and trusting yourself. That's real power." And with that, they stepped into the night, confident that whatever came next, whether challenges, rivals, or unexpected encounters, they were prepared, not just to survive, but to shine. Because humans, Alex realized, had brilliance that no machine could ever replicate. The city skyline sparkled under the night sky, 1,000 lights reflecting off the glass buildings, each one a tiny reminder of human ambition and creativity. Alex walked alongside Serena, feeling the gentle warmth of satisfaction and relief. The gala had ended, but its lessons and experiences lingered. "Tonight was intense," Alex said quietly, glancing at Serena. "I didn't think I could manage everything without freezing. But somehow I did." Serena's lips curved into a small, approving smile. "You did more than manage, Alex. You observed, adapted, and acted with precision. That's human brilliance. Machines can analyze data, but humans understand nuance, timing, and emotion. Tonight, you proved that." Alex felt a wave of pride wash over them. It wasn't just about winning a small challenge at the gala. It was about realizing their own potential, about understanding that humans had unique skills that no machine, algorithm, or even rival could replicate. They paused on a quiet balcony overlooking the streets below. The city hummed with life, distant traffic and faint laughter carrying up to them. Alex took a deep breath, letting the night air fill their lungs. "I used to think confidence was about pretending everything is perfect," Alex admitted. "But tonight, I learned it's about noticing what matters and acting at the right moment." Serena nodded. "Exactly. Observation, timing, and trust in yourself, these are tools humans have that are far more powerful than force, and you use them brilliantly." Alex glanced back toward the gala hall, thinking of Jamie. Their ex had been a constant presence, a subtle challenge throughout the night. Alex had expected confrontation, awkwardness, maybe even embarrassment. But instead, there had been growth for both of them. Jamie had seen Alex differently, not just as someone from the past, but as a human capable of insight, quick thinking, and calm under pressure. "You think Jamie understands now?" Alex asked. Serena's eyes gleamed faintly. They noticed, and sometimes that's enough. People don't always admit what they've learned, but actions speak louder than words. You demonstrated human skill, intuition, and adaptability. That lesson will stay with them. Alex smiled. There was something satisfying in that thought, not revenge, not proving a point, just the quiet acknowledgement that humans, clever, observant, adaptable humans, had a unique edge. Suddenly, Alex's communicator beeped softly. A quick glance confirmed it was a message from a colleague back at work. The project they had been leading had received unexpected recognition during the gala's networking sessions. The subtle moves they had made tonight, adjusting, observing, collaborating, had ripple effects even beyond the event itself. Alex felt a thrill of excitement. It wasn't about personal glory. It was about the fact that human ingenuity, teamwork, and subtle intelligence could create real impact. Serena looked at the message, then back at Alex, her smirk faint but approving. "See, humans have a way of influencing the world quietly but effectively." "You just demonstrated that in action," Alex laughed softly. "I guess humans really do have an edge." Serena leaned slightly closer, her voice soft and playful. "And don't forget," she paused, letting her gaze meet Alex's, "you still owe me a kiss." Alex's cheeks warmed, but they laughed, realizing the playful trust between them. It wasn't about obligation. It was about shared understanding, connection, and mutual respect. Serena's smirk held no pressure, only the hint of companionship that had grown over the course of the evening. Before Alex could respond, Jamie appeared nearby. Their expression was calm, but Alex noticed a subtle shift, a flicker of acknowledgement and respect. Jamie's usual confidence was softened by something new, recognition of human ingenuity and observation. "Alex," Jamie said, voice steady, "I didn't realize you could handle situations like tonight so well. You've changed." Alex felt a quiet pride tempered with humility. "I've learned that noticing what matters and acting thoughtfully is more important than reacting. Humans have an advantage machines can't replicate. That's what I relied on tonight." Jamie nodded slowly, a small smile tugging at their lips. "I see that now. Perhaps I underestimated human potential, not just yours but everyone's." Alex felt a sense of closure. It wasn't about competition or rivalry anymore. It was about recognizing the power of thought, observation, and adaptability, the things that made humans remarkable. As the night air grew cooler, Serena rested a hand lightly on Alex's shoulder. "Let's walk for a bit," she said. "Reflect on the night. Appreciate what humans can do when they focus, adapt, and trust themselves." They walked through the quiet streets, the city lights casting long reflections on the pavement. Alex reflected on the evening's lessons. Humans could adapt faster than any machine. Observation, subtlety, and timing mattered more than brute knowledge. Confidence was built through awareness and thoughtful action, not pretense. Partnerships like the one they had with Serena could amplify human potential. It was a powerful realization. For so long, Alex had relied on routines, instructions, and calculations. But tonight had proven that human creativity, improvisation, and perception could create real impact in a complex, unpredictable world. "Serena," Alex said after a while, "I think I understand now. Humans aren't just limited by fear or past mistakes. We can adapt, learn, and even influence others without force. That's incredible." Serena's eyes sparkled faintly. "It is, and tonight you proved it. That's the real human advantage." As they paused near a quiet fountain, the water reflecting the city's lights, Alex felt a deep sense of satisfaction. It wasn't about proving something to Jamie or winning recognition at the gala. It was about realizing their own potential, and the potential humans have when they rely on thought, intuition, and collaboration. Jamie lingered nearby, observing from a distance, a silent acknowledgement of the night's events. Alex knew that the subtle lessons they had demonstrated would stay with Jamie, even if unspoken. Sometimes influence was quiet but lasting. "Thank you," Alex said quietly to Serena, feeling a mixture of gratitude and admiration. "For trusting me, guiding me, and showing me that humans have something special." Serena smiled softly. "No need to thank me. You proved it yourself. That's the beauty of humans. You notice, you adapt, you shine. And tonight, you did all of that." Alex laughed softly, feeling lighter than they had in years. The night had tested them, pushed them, and taught them more about themselves than any project or challenge ever could. Serena's smirk returned, playful yet gentle. "So, about that kiss," she teased. Alex smiled, realizing that the moment wasn't about obligation, but about connection, trust, and shared accomplishment. Leaning slightly closer, they met her gaze, letting the moment linger, a quiet celebration of teamwork, human ingenuity, and subtle triumph. The city lights shimmered around them, reflecting off the fountain and the glass buildings beyond. Alex felt a deep sense of empowerment, a realization that humans had unique capabilities that could navigate even the most complex situations with skill, subtlety, and intelligence. Jamie, observing from a distance, seemed to understand something fundamental. Humans could adapt, notice, and influence in ways that no machine could replicate. The night had shifted their perception, and quietly they acknowledged it. For Alex, the evening had been transformative. They had faced fear, navigated a challenging X, and demonstrated the power of human perception, creativity, and collaboration. And through it all, they had discovered confidence, not the kind that comes from pretending, but the kind that comes from observation, timing, and trust in oneself. Serena glanced at Alex one last time, her expression warm and approving. "Remember this feeling," she said softly. "You've seen what humans can do when they focus, adapt, and trust themselves. Carry it forward." Alex nodded, a quiet smile on their face. The night had been more than a gala, it had been a revelation. Humans had advantages that no algorithm, machine, or rival could ever take away. And tonight, Alex had proven it, not with force, not with drama, but with wit, observation, and subtle brilliance. As they walked back toward the city streets, Alex felt the glow of accomplishment, confidence, and potential. The future was vast, unpredictable, and full of challenges. But now they knew something crucial. Humans could navigate it, adapt, and shine in ways nothing else could. The city stretched ahead like a canvas of endless possibilities. Alex felt ready for anything, guided by insight, intuition, and human ingenuity, the real human advantage. And with Serena by their side, the night's lesson was clear. Together, humans could achieve extraordinary things, not through force, not through control, but through observation, adaptability, and trust. Alex smiled, feeling the quiet power of potential and partnership. Whatever came next, projects, rivals, or life's unpredictable turns, they were ready, confident, observant, human. And in that moment, under the shimmering lights of the city, Alex knew the truth. Humans could shine brilliantly in ways that no one and nothing could ever take away.